Audience advisory. The following content is intended for entertainment purposes only. Do not utilize the following content in lieu of personal therapeutic research. Thank you and enjoy.
OmniCreations is proud to present Ring, hello. Hello, and welcome back to Ring, hello podcast. Today we will be delving into the very pertinent topic of communicating miscommunication with me, myself, and I, Miss Rebekah. I want to begin with a gracious thank you to all of our listeners and supporters and remind you that you can find Leslie's content over on Leslie Maximalist's YouTube channel, link in the description below. And a gentle reminder that moving forward, Ring, hello will be hosted by yours truly, with continued guest appearances from artisans and entrepreneurs all over the globe. Without further ado, let us dive into communicating miscommunications. Firstly, what is miscommunication and how does it happen? Miscommunication occurs when messages aren't projected or received as intended. Key focus on projected or received. If we were to look at a conversation between two people as variable A and variable B, A being the projector of message and B being the receiver of message, in circumstances of a miscommunication, there is the possibility of person A not properly communicating their message, person B not perceiving the message as intended, or both circumstances occurring simultaneously. Now, this does make miscommunication seem like a very black and white issue, which it is not, as miscommunication occurs between two people, and we are all highly complex beings with a large capacity for processing a wide range of data. While communicating, we are experiencing the multidimensional reality with which we reside, including but not limited to emotions of events that had led up to the instance of communication, which could involve factors not at all relative to the person we are communicating with. For example, for myself as a business owner and artist, I spend a lot of time and brainpower communicating directly to others and networking via social media. If on Monday at 3 p.m. after working from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m., I've talked to and connected with at least 50 people, my social battery is likely depleted, putting me at risk for irritability due to needing rest. It is my responsibility to recognize where I am at on an introspective, emotional level and communicate that to my partner. One way I've communicated this in the past is with a statement like, I am in need of quiet time. I don't have any words left. Can we spend time just being in one another's presence? Taking into account where I am at, what I need, and communicating the boundary of self-awareness. Another more sensitive area of miscommunication would be one's personal value system, aka religion and spiritual perspective. For me personally, as a woman who has a background in Kabbalism and Christianity, in circumstances outside of business, I have contended with what one would refer to as non-targeted hate. For example, if someone shares a statement on social media that says no one should support Christians, while people in my personal life do not know the depths of my spiritual practices, a statement like that is not directly targeted to me as Rebekah, but it is targeted to me as a person with religious ties to the Christian faith. I want to make a note that while we are all entitled to our opinions, it is possible to have an opinion without promoting or projecting a bias of hate. While the person projecting this message may have a real message of passion that they are trying to convey, the hate factor of that message overrules, producing a major miscommunication that has ensued real emotional pain which could lead to a loss of friendship, which further pushes me to creating this episode. Now that we all have a basic understanding of what miscommunication is, let us discuss the depths of what miscommunication can be and how it may unfold in areas of life outside of just having a rough day. Beginning with a quote from the government website www.commerce.gov. In business practices, this is referred to as religious discrimination. What is religious discrimination? Answer: religious discrimination is treating individuals differently because of their religious beliefs and practices and/or their request for accommodation of their religious beliefs and practices. It also includes treating individuals differently because of their lack of religious beliefs or practices. Question: what kinds of discriminatory practices are prohibited? Answer: it is illegal to discriminate based on religion in any aspect of employment, including hiring, firing, compensation, assignment, and classification of employees. Harassment based on religion is also prohibited. The law also prohibits harassment of any other employment action based on any of the following: affiliation, an individual's affiliation with a particular religious group. For example, harassing an individual because she practices Buddhism. Characteristics such as dress associated with a particular religion. For example, harassing someone for wearing a yarmulke, or a woman wearing a hijab, a body covering and or headscarf worn by some Muslims. Perception: harassing or otherwise discriminating because of the perception or belief that a person is a member of a particular religious group, whether or not that perception is correct. Association: harassing or otherwise discriminating because of an individual's association with a person or organization of a particular religion. Question: what is unlawful harassment based on religion? Answer: employers must provide a workplace that is free of unlawful harassment based on religion. Harassment based on religion can take many different forms, including religious slurs, workplace graffiti, or other offensive verbal or physical conduct directed towards any religious group that is so severe or pervasive that the individual being harassed reasonably finds the work environment to be hostile or abusive. Employers may be liable not only for the harassment by supervisors, but also by coworkers or by non-employees under the supervisor's control." End quote. So how do we solve miscommunications? And more importantly, how do we prevent them? Discussing the emotional impacts and the impact on trust, miscommunications can create feelings of frustration, hurt, or even resentment. Recognizing introspectively and reflecting on these emotions is critical to resolution with whom we are communicating outwardly and within our own sense of self. When communicating in a sense of self-advocacy, one could implement the following. Be clear and direct. When speaking with a friend, be straightforward about your thoughts and feelings, using I statements to express your feelings without sounding accusatory. For example, I felt deeply hurt when I saw a post promoting hate towards those of the Christian faith. Practice active listening. Make an effort to listen and comprehend the opposing person's perspective without planning a response while they are speaking. This fosters a more open dialogue for understanding and connection. Ask questions. If the person does not share the same perspective as you, ask questions that could lead to a ground of understanding and compassion. Set boundaries. Communicate your needs clearly. For instance, if you need personal space or time to process your feelings, say so. For example, I am taking space for myself. I need time to process your feelings. While oftentimes boundaries can feel like they are bad, they are not. It is important to be respectful, understanding, and compassionate to those whom we share this wondrous life with, no matter their personal perspective, differing from our own or not. Lastly, own your part. Acknowledgement of your own role in a misunderstanding can go a long way with rebuilding trust. Accountability is a major determining factor in one's willingness to problem solve and to rebuild. With all this being said, miscommunications happen, but they do not have to turn into bridge-burning situations. When we take actions that are respectful and compassionate, introspective and reflective, direct and honest, we build the roadway of fruitful relationships. I encourage you to reflect on your own friendships. Are there areas where misunderstandings occur frequently that could be addressed? Take some time to reflect and advocate for yourself. All right. Hello everyone, and welcome to the unscripted portion of this episode. Now, this is going to be one of the briefest episodes that we have had so far, and I greatly appreciate our monthly listeners. Thank you all so very much. It truly means the world to me. I want to give a little bit of perspective and info on how next season, the 2025 season of Ring Ring Hello Entrepreneur Podcast, is going to flow. Give you guys a little update. So, for the rest of this year, we have 2 more guest episodes appearing, and then there will be a short break in January for my honeymoon. Woohoo! Make sure to follow me on Instagram at the girl with the ramen tattoo, and you can stay up to date on all the fun, cool stuff that I will be doing. And make sure to follow OmniCreations ART on Instagram for our monthly updates about events and different artists that we have coming with us and all that cool jazz. And for info about the podcast, and if you're into the supporting, you can also follow Ring Ring Hello Pod on Instagram. And for wrapping up this episode of Communicating Miscommunication, I just want to close with a few remarks. First, I would like to ask that if you have any questions about my personal reasoning for feeling the need to speak on and advocate for the recognition of spiritual and lack thereof beliefs and the appropriate representation and respecting them in a work environment setting, please feel free to comment below, and I may or may not be able to incorporate your question into the next episode, which will be, or not the next episode, but the next episode of Part 2, Communicating Miscommunication, which will come February of 2025. If you have any feedback or personal takes of how you have appropriately contended with situations where those of differing belief systems have been challenging, please also feel free to share those with us in the comments down below. You can also reach out on Facebook if you prefer a more private conversation, or on Instagram at OmniCreations.art. I completely understand the desire for privacy and advocating for oneself. I have no problem, removing names and situations like that if it is necessary. Whatever it takes to give advocacy to the world around us. Truly, I want nothing more than to have a safer place in the world. So I will do all that I can to provide that, not only for those who share the same perspective as me, but also in those who differ from me. And in that does not mean that there are not challenging circumstances and choices that one has to make, but nonetheless, you keep it moving, you keep going, you push through it, find the vigilance within yourself and the discipline to continue to be a better person, not for anyone other than yourself, because truly, in my personal opinion, that's how you find peace. And I don't know about you, but all I'm looking for in life is to find peace and to continue to assist others in that journey. And I hope that I can provide a platform for furthered communication and advocacy of any and all. But be wary, there is a boundary of you must be respectful, and you must follow the law. So, if you are unaware of what the regulations are, I highly recommend looking them up. But all jokes aside, I greatly appreciate you listening, and I look forward to seeing you all next month. Happy autumn, and don't forget to love yourself today because you are worth it. Join us for discussions about parenthood, approaching your 40s, building a business, and more. Will you be calling?